Hello, everybody. Welcome to Coffee Chat with Lindsay and Neely.
Hey y'all.
What do you have in your
Happy
cup
Friday.
today?
No, oh my stars, it's not Friday. I said happy Friday out loud. My brain is glitched. I have
Yeah,
all the glitches.
I saw a meme this morning that said, I'm having the worst Friday ever because I keep remembering it's Wednesday.
Facts. Facts.
Checks out.
Okay, for starters, I have black coffee.
Excellent.
Decaf. Decaf variety because this told me so.
Oh, no, yes. It's
But
dangerous.
also it told me so, but I was already on that whole bandwagon of always doing the decafs
Okay.
um at this hour. So
I I have
it
not been. So
confirmed.
I've been completely ignoring my Ring's caffeine window because
Yeah.
I watched a video by Thomas DeLauer that said it didn't matter. So I'm
Oh,
going with that.
oh, the man with negative 17% body fat said that it doesn't matter what time you drink caffeine. Checks out.
And it was, like confirmation bias for me because I want to drink my coffee when I first get up. And I'm not going to drink a decaf cup of coffee first thing in the morning.
Oh, okay. I think I should clarify.
I tried, but
It
no.
is it is currently 1 p.m. in my
Oh,
time
you were
zone.
stopping.
This is my end point. Yeah, like my end point is technically like according to that it's like 2:40 or something absurd. And I typically have fully quit the caffeine after like 10 a.m. or at least
Yeah.
caffeinated versions of it. I don't know where to find my little window of
For
caffeine
those that
permit.
don't know what we're talking about at all,
We're talking about these little
it's,
doodads.
it's our little friend that speaks to us that's always on our finger. Are
I
we
only just
insane?
recently acquired my own little, you know, data tracker thing. So I'm still trying to work
Your
it
little
all out.
imaginary friend
That's right. And it said
that gives you advice.
14:51. That's the time I need to stop drinking caffeine. So 2:51 my time. I have 2 hours, but also I only drink until the coffee pot is done. And then
Mm,
I switch to decaf anyway. So it's
yeah.
fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't even have to think about the stop time caffeine window because I'm done by then easily. It's just the beginning. They tell you to wait like 2 hours after you get up to clear your adenosine and all the things. And I'm like, and I've done it. I gave it a go, and it didn't change my life in a magical way.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Drinking
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
coffee first thing in the morning when I wake up changes my life in a magical way. So that's what I choose to do. I
I
only
mean,
do things that change my life in a magical way. That's the moral of the story.
that's solid. I'm here for that
Yeah.
particular choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1000%.
Yeah.
I also do not wait. Not for a moment will I wait. I mean, I've tried it in the past and I'm like, this, nah, I'm not here for that. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's
And I
okay. It tries
have
to tell me to wait till 7 in the morning too.
oh, I have heard a couple different people, not just Thomas DeLauer, talk about how it's not like the
That
theory is
serious.
great of the clear the adenosine before you start the caffeine, but it's not really that solid of a theory. And
Mm,
you can poke
sure.
some holes in it. And I think part of it is it might be true when you first start drinking coffee. Like if your body's not used to drinking coffee, you get this cortisol spike. But if you're habituated to drinking coffee, it doesn't have. And I'm like, well, that's me. So
Yeah, I fall in that category as well.
yes. So I do not worry about it if I, ever have some health issues or sleep issues or anything like that that I really can't get to the bottom of. Maybe I'll try it again, but as
Sure.
of now, life is going pretty okay.
I like the pretty okay thing. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's happening,
It is. Yeah. We're doing it.
whether we like it or not.
Yeah. Good morning, Patty. You get the gold star for first in the chat this morning. Happy Wednesday. Blaze is here. Good morning or good afternoon. Megan Rooney is here. The stars have aligned. I'm here for a live. I always have to catch on the replay. Oh, I'm so glad you're here for a
Hey,
live.
Megan. I'm like, what? What? That is my best friend from childhood.
Oh, fun. I love that. Risa is here. Good afternoon or morning. Let's see. Mary, hello. Straight Bro is here. Blaze, saying hi to Risa. Rickwin is here. Got your arc for all the rain you're getting today. Yeah, good thing. Make sure you grab 2 of every kind of animal for that. Let's see. Haley is here. Hello. Suzanne is here. She says, I have an Aura ring, but my personal time limit on caffeine has been noon for the past 10 years. I'm super sensitive to it. Yes. Very
Good
good
information to know
yourself.
about yourself.
Yeah. And, these rings are a tool. And I don't know if we mentioned this. We have the Ultra Human ring, and it's a newer ring on the market that's kind of a competitor to the Aura ring, but very similar idea. So, yeah, so they're a tool. They're not dictating, how we have to live our lives or, what will definitely make us better people. We still get to choose. Ellie is here. Good morning. I tried my best to drink coffee after breakfast and water. I will undereat if I drink coffee first. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't have that problem. I definitely still get in my calories. No problem.
I also do that. I ate 4 eggs today, so for
nice.
Breakfast straight away. I was like, 4 eggs, mayonnaise, sriracha. Here we go. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I was like, I could eat more food.
So I've been trying to get into the habit of eating like a smallish snack meal first thing in the morning because people say it's a good thing to do.
Small?
Like,
Poquito?
Yeah. So for me, it's usually like a bowl of cottage cheese and a piece of fruit or something like that.
Okay.
Because I get, having coffee on an empty stomach and then waiting a while to eat more food after that. I don't know. Maybe it's not a great habit to have. Still, but I'm trying. But the thing is, when I first wake up, food is like the worst thing ever to think about.
Oh.
But within like an hour or two, I'm hungry. But I'm trying to do that first thing in the morning thing, just to eat just a little bit. I can't do much, just a little bit, and I don't know. It's another one of those things you try it, and you're like, if this changes my life, fine, I'll keep doing it. If not, I'm done. So we'll see how it goes.
Hard.
It's all about optimizing.
I know, but it's also one of those moments where you're like, at what stage of life do we get to the point where we're like, we're just gonna live? We're gonna quit caring and just live.
Yeah. Well, and then I'm like, well, I add cream to my coffee. That has calories. Doesn't that count? Like, how much cream do I have to add for it to count? As a small
3/4 of a cup.
Yeah. I can throw in some collagen, get a little protein. I mean, that's a meal, right?
Sure. Incomplete, but sure. We'll go with it.
Yeah. Ellie hasn't been here for a while. We missed you too. Xana from Texas is here. Margaret is here. Good afternoon. Silver Neon has a question.
Okay.
So did you ever cure your SIBO or still going? I assume you're talking to me. Noticed you got a El Roederer yogurt, but is it cured? Can you eat carbs again? Yes, as far as I can tell by my own symptoms and test results, my SIBO is completely taken care of. And I am eating lots and lots of carbs again and lots of fiber and vegetables and things that used to cause me all kinds of pain. I can't say that it was only the yogurt that cured me. I did actually just post a video yesterday about all the things that I've done for healing my gut as well as supporting my gut. And so I definitely recommend checking out that video. And I kind of give a synopsis of my whole gut health journey. So that would definitely answer your question. Oh, Marie scheduled grocery shopping so you'd be home in time for the live. Planning
We like
ahead.
it.
Love it. Let's see. Oh yeah, look at Reese is on top of it. She just did a video about her SIBO yesterday. Yep. Oh, that's great. Let's see. Oh, Lynette is here. Good morning, Lynette.
Oh, I have
Oh
like
no.
almost no coffee left and I spilled it.
Oh, you can't wave so violently.
I didn't even feel like it was that violent. I mean, I guess I
You
am
just get
kind of
so
just an
excited when you see Lynette in the chat.
facts. But I'm also just such an aggressive person. I don't know my own strength. It's like I'm not Ferdinand the Bull. He was too sweet. Uh,
Uh,
just too aggressive.
bull in a china shop.
That is
um,
accurate.
okay. Let's see. When I wake up, I just do a little bit of aerobics for 5 minutes. The raised metabolism is much better for clearing the sleep inertia. Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Interesting.
Try to get your heart rate up a little bit first thing, and then drink your coffee right after. You can
I
speed
mean,
up the
I
time.
don't ever have a problem literally just like Jack in the Box popping out of bed and just we roll, we run.
Yes.
So for me, I don't have that issue, and I don't know how to parse that out with. I had to
Yeah.
set my coffee cup down. I don't know how to parse that out with all of the optimizing opportunities that are in the health and wellness space these days.
Yes. Purple loving Nona is here. Hello. Um, Ellie says, I'm not dogmatic. The fact that you cured your SIBO and stopped the food noise is huge. Yeah, it is. It is huge. Hope that I can get there one day. Yeah, you'll totally get there. I mean, it's a journey and we all like take all different paths. But just keep going and you keep improving. Like, and I don't know that I'm arrived. I still have work to do and things to deal with and just keep on going. Let's see. So does that mean now eating vegetables you no longer get bad breath or coated tongue? Yeah. So I never had the bad breath or coated tongue. That sounds more like a candida issue, it seems. I mean, I'm not an expert, not a doctor, nothing like that. But you might look into candida if that is an issue that you have. And so I imagine, the probiotic yogurts would be great for candida as well, because any adding of good bacteria is going to be helpful. But anyways, yes,
Crowd out bad
I
bacteria.
don't have. I mainly had digestive issues. I had a lot of skin issues as well. That has definitely lessened. I had rosacea really bad, and that is. I still will get flares from certain things, especially like when I get sick, but it's way less than it used to be. Way less. So definitely freedom. Okay. So I think we said hi to everybody here. This live stream, what we wanted to focus on was Lindsay's fitness journey. I was long-winded and just talked on and on and on about my own little fitness journey and her
On and
last
on. Do 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 do. On and
live
on. Do,
stream.
do.
So it's Lindsay's turn to talk on and on about where she's been with her fitness throughout her life and where she's at now, and give us all of your wisdom.
Okay. 3.
Ready?
Just kidding.
Go.
Go. Okay. Growing up, I was not the most athletic. I was part of T-ball whenever I was a wee tiny little critter. But T-ball whenever you're 4 and 5 years old is really just like running around like a chicken with your head cut off and occasionally throwing bats. Um, and then as I got older, like I leaned much more heavily into um like choir, theater, performing, that kind of thing. But I was always part of swim team, especially growing up. So that's one of those samesies things. And so swim team was always my preferred exercise growing up. I really liked it whenever I was on swim team that we would do weight training days a couple times a week. I hated whenever we do like out of the water cardio days. Those were absolute garbage in my opinion. But I really liked lifting weights and I really liked just like the act of swimming. So all of that was my preference. And then In college, I didn't really do a whole heap. We had a college weight room, gym area that I would go to rarely when I lived on campus. Once I moved off campus, I never set foot. I always hated running, jogging, any sort of like appearance of exercise was not my thing. And I would tell myself, oh, that's because you liked lifting weights in high school. You never liked the cardio aspect of it, and you just don't have the right equipment to do lifting weights. So it's fine. Of course, you don't love running because you'd rather like lift weights. So that was sort of that my youth into young adulthood. And then once I got married, I never really cared much about fitness, full stop, until after becoming a mom. Even whenever I was, young married, that I was just like, yeah, we just eat what we eat and we just go on about our lives. And if I needed my weight to fluctuate, which was not very often, it was usually through the means of stressing myself out and changing my diet. Not even changing my diet, just not eating. I did try a variety of diets, but that's irrelevant at this point of the game. We're talking about fitness. I've never really been a super morbidly obese person. I've been a very squishy person, but I've always had pretty good muscle mass without a lot of muscle tone. And once I had children, I was like, I loathe the way that I look. I need to start doing things about this. I had I had a bunch of different exercise DVDs. I've still got them all downstairs. I really liked Pilates. I really liked some of like the dancing style workouts, the exercise ball from Gaiam, with their like included little workout, CDs or VHS tapes or DVDs or whatever at that time. I really liked those. I really loved Denise Austin. There was something about her that reminded me of one of my aunts, and I was like, this feels like home. So I would often I would often go through and do like an at-home workout, but I have always been one who prefers to either work out completely autonomously or it had to be like in a class type setting away from home. I hate working out in my home whenever I have people like sit if I'm in the living room working out, I need nobody in the living room. Like you can't be sitting here with me. You need to be away from me. I cannot. So I just never would do it. And then I had a YMCA membership for a few years whenever we moved here to the Ohio, and that was really great because I could get back into swimming and I could get into like some different Pilates classes, like the reformers machines and that sort of thing. And then one of my friends here, she and I would go to a boot camp class once, maybe twice a week. No, I feel like it was closer to once a week that we were able to actually get in. And then, in the midst of all the COVIDs, you couldn't find a spot because they had to limit the space for that room or the number of spaces for that room, to be able to go to those classes. So I fell off the wagon with those. And then we moved out to this house, and I just did not want to drive, an additional 15 minutes to go to a, 6 a.m. class. So we dropped our YMCA membership, and I was just kind of doing little things here and there. Um, Years prior, I had gotten a rebounder because that was actually fun. And so I'd been doing the rebounder kind of off and on whenever I felt like it. And then once we got in to this house, I kind of was a little bit more intentional about it because I had a spot where it could live without me having to tear it down, fold it up, tuck it away, pull it out, reconfigure it, all that mess. So I would do my rebounder stuff, and I cared a lot more about lymphatic stuff at that point. And then I just started adding pieces. My friend, she said, hey, I have a gym in my basement. She's only like a 8-minute drive away, so she said, you don't have to figure anything out, just come and we'll write the workout and you just do it with me if you want to do strength training. So ever since that point, I have been doing strength training with my friend twice a week. In her basement, we try to go heavy. I still struggle with the whole concept of cardio. I do have the whole gamut of like a walking pad, and I've got my own kettlebells, and I've got resistance bands, and I've got all the DVDs under the sun, and I've got the rebounder. And I think the thing that I've figured out when it comes to my fitness experience is that I struggle to stay focused and committed to any one thing because I get bored easily. And if I get bored with it, I just choose not to do it. And trying to maintain a level of interest has been a bit of a challenge, and different seasons make it a different, offer their different challenges. But the one thing I can be consistent with most often is going over and doing heavy workouts with my friend twice a week. Um, and I mean, I cancel on her every now and then. Like if I'm sick, I'm not afraid to say I can't do this. I'm also not afraid to be the weakest person in the room, which I would say 20 years ago would have petrified me to have to admit something like that. Um, I don't know. I feel like I am not where I want to be, but I also have not found the discipline within myself to be able to um, become that person with any level of like rigor and consistency.
Awesome. Yeah. So do you think over the time that you have, done different fitness excursions, has your motivation changed for why you want to do it? You think?
Yes.
Okay.
hmm In the beginning, it was like, I want my body to look a certain way. Now it's much more in line with, I want my body to function a certain way.
Yeah.
I have a much different focus. Like, yes, I still want to fit in the pants that I already own. I still want to fit better in all of the tops that I own or the dresses that I have. Or like, I want my clothing. I love my clothing. I want to stay fitting in that and fitting
Mhm.
in it properly, not like a stuffed sausage casing type of a situation. And also not like I'm playing dress up in my mother's clothes, like where everything is falling off of me. I want neither of those. I
Yeah.
want to fit properly in my clothes. So that is still a factor. But the main goal is that I don't want to like break a bone. I don't want to hurt tremendously because of like
Mhm.
twisting something the wrong direction, sleeping wrong on a shoulder, and all of a sudden I'm just like crippled like this for like 4 weeks straight. This is stuff I'm trying to avoid
Mhm.
in general. And I mean, I'm still very mobile. Like I can still do a
Mhm.
lot of the little challenges of like sit down on the ground, crisscross applesauce, and stand up without touch it without your hands.
Yeah.
Or, like a whole variety of things. Or if you can go from laying down to standing up without using your hands. Like a lot of those kinds of like mobility exercises, I got them in the bag. I don't want
Yeah.
to lose that.
Yeah.
And so that's a
You
piece
got-
of it. And as we get older, my husband and I, we have differently allocated monies to be able to apply to some new hobbies because
Mm.
old things have fallen away or, like life shifts.
Mhm.
So we've gotten into kiteboarding and to snowboarding, and we're into more activities that require a pretty high level of being capable of controlling your body and having good mobility. And so I want to right now my friend and I we're working on snowboarding, and so a lot of our workouts are focused on how do we strengthen ourselves so that when we're trying to learn these different skills and techniques that we don't die the next morning. So
Mhm.
it's like a lot of our focus is just on like the functional, I want to be able to do this activity, so how
Mhm.
do I support that with my exercise?
I love that because it's like it gives you a motivation. And I
hmm
have in the past struggled so much with monotonous exercise, like exercise for the sake of exercise. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm not into
you
that.
know, if I'm gonna, if I could go out and weed whack or clear brush or whatever, and I'm getting a major workout, but it doesn't feel like a workout because I'm accomplishing. Like the goal is to accomplish the
Yeah,
thing. The goal is not to
that's
get
right.
sweaty and get to a certain heart rate, and so when you can like channel your motivation for working out into something you enjoy doing, I think that's a huge motivator when it can, seem like a struggle to get into the habit. So that's cool.
Yeah. And
I
I
want to say
know,
hi to Cindy really fast.
oh, hi, Cindy. I do also want to say like that there's always another activity that we're interested in doing. So, we want to go sailing at some point. That's not just like simple to be able to maneuver around a sailboat
Mm-hmm.
and be able to manage all of those tasks. You have to have some pretty decent stability and mobility to do that. So I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to do more long lasting hikes and things like that whenever we get into the summer seasons of doing those kinds of things, or being more capable of doing tent camping versus going and doing like a dry cabin or something like that. I want to be able to go adventuring without really struggling. When we did our big around the country road trip last May, some of the most fun that we had was going to Arches National Park and Canyonlands National Parks, and being able to just keep going and just keep going. And ooh, let's explore just a little further. Let's
Mm-hmm.
explore something more. Um, you don't do that without having some level of stamina, some level of stability, some level of mobility. And is that's, I don't want to become a bump on a log, because then I see my brain start to atrophy. And so
Mm-hmm.
the exercise piece is literally so that we can go do things either better or with more stamina or with less frustration, less chance for injury, that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
it's definitely not for the sake of, look, I did it every day just because I'm supposed to. That's the
Mhm.
one thing I will not be capable of doing. Do it every day because you're supposed to do it. Oh, I'm supposed to. Hard pass. I'm supposed to stop my coffee at a certain time. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, okay? You're not the boss in me.
You're not the boss of me. That's
I mean,
hilarious.
if there was a better phrase to describe me, I don't know what it would possibly be.
Risa says, I used to be addicted to Richard Simmons videos.
Oh
That is
my
hilarious.
word.
Did them for ages. Now almost all my exercise is functional exercise, heavy lifting at work, reaching, at home minimal weights, and aerobics. Yep, that's awesome. Um, so one thing that on my Fitbit, because I wear a Fitbit and my ring because I'm just crazy like that. They just introduced a new feature that I think is based on a feature that Garmin's usually have, but it's called cardio load. And
Okay.
so it gives you just a score for the day, and it'll give you like a target to reach, whatever. But I like it because it takes into account your entire day, not just your workout session. And so
Okay.
if I'm out doing a bunch of farm work and getting all kinds of cardio in, that is reflected in my score. So you can get a kind of a better idea of when you need to, take a rest day or whatever. Because that was always so frustrating, because I'm like, I do a lot. Like my heart rate is raised for doing all kinds of other things. That should count. That should count as. And so I like the more holistic, rather than, no, you have to get your 1 hour of aerobics in or your 1 hour of weightlifting. No, let's kind of look at our entire lives holistically, and then we can make kind of a better choice about how much additional we might need, or when to take a rest day and stuff like that. So, because I know Risa has a very active job. And so, someone with a very active job, lots of lifting, they may not need the same kinds of supplemental exercise that another
I,
person that has a desk job would need.
yeah, I think that is really cool. I like the idea of calling a specific dedicated time to work out as supplemental exercise.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
really like that. You saying that really, that triggers something very like resonant in my brain.
Yeah.
How many times per week do you supplement your exercise?
Yes. Because our lives are supposed to be active. Human beings
Yes.
are designed to be active and move throughout the day in various ways.
Hmm.
And because we live in a modern society where we have so much convenience, we have cars to drive us everywhere and washing machines to wash our clothes, and we don't have to be active. And so
Yeah.
it's really like the supplement is like bringing us back to what the level we should be.
Right. What the
Yeah.
standard.
Yeah, but if we could set up our life in such a way that we get all of our exercise naturally rather than supplementally, then that's fantastic. Like we don't have to add in. Yeah.
Any of the
I
other things. That's
support that.
so interesting. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like you add supplements because you're nutrient. Hmm, you're
Yeah.
nutritionally deficient in things. So it's like
Yeah.
you supplement vitamin D in the winter. So
Yeah.
because you're deficient. So then
Yeah.
it's like, what kind of exercise do you need to supplement in this season so that you're no longer deficient?
Yeah.
That's, I like it a lot. I
Yeah.
will say this much though. When it comes to like the trackers, the watches, the rings, like the various things, I dislike very much. I tend to stand the vast majority of the day. Like
Mhm.
I I I'm always standing at my counter, always
Yeah.
standing in my kitchen, always standing in the schoolroom, always standing, doing laundry, standing. For me to sit down, like it's not as like it's not for a long period of time. Like there are seasons whenever I sit down for a longer period of time. But for the most part, I tend to stand. So it's my least favorite thing whenever these little devices are like, "Hey, you could really benefit from standing this hour." And I'm like, I have literally stood the whole entire hour. I am
Yeah.
preventing as best as I can the atrophy in my colon so I don't wind up allowing colon cancer to flourish. I'm like doing all the things like colon cancer, one of the supposed connections is sedentary lifestyle, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Not and that's all like just little tidbits of information. Do not take that for gospel. Do your own research.
No medical
Um
advice here.
no medical advice, no like medical hypotheses. I'm just saying, like, I tend to not sit around on my hiney all day. Um, so
Yes.
it's
But the
like,
trackers, they're like, if you're not stepping, you're not standing.
which is false. It's
Right.
literally false. Like I'm literally
They're not
putting,
even
I'm like, like right now, I'm standing right now. There's my chair all the way down there. You couldn't see me if I was sitting in my chair, and I'm constantly like moving back and forth. I don't stand still very well. I don't sit still very well either. But it's like I'm constantly moving from weight from one leg to another. I'm constantly like stretching. I'm not exactly a normal-ish person when it comes to just like being in my house. I'm I'm like,
Wait,
oh,
you're
there's something to prop up my leg. Let me stretch my leg. Oh,
not.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a wall. Let me put my arm against it like this. It's like
Yeah.
I
Those
I
those are
don't
good habits.
I don't I don't I don't know. Occasionally like I'll lean up against the cabinet or the counter and I'll just be like, I'm gonna push in and push out just because I'm bored or because I have excess energy. And so but it's not like I'm standing still, or it's not like I'm sitting. So I just wish that these would take into account that if it senses that you're like at a different height than 18 inches off the ground, maybe you're not sitting. Maybe you're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm
There
I'm
are
done with.
limitations, clearly. There
There
are
are.
limitations with that. And, when you think about the steps, I mean, you could be taking like 3-foot steps and like doing lunges and it just
Yeah,
counts as
yeah,
one step, but or you could
right.
do like little tiptoes and it counts as 100 steps. And so there's definitely
100%.
ways
Oh yeah.
to
Like,
game the
oh,
system.
look, I can get my steps right now.
Yeah.
Oh, look at me. I'm
Yeah.
stepping. Am I
Yeah. So
doing anything? I
I'll
don't
go
know.
to my total body like boot camp class
Yeah.
and I'll come out with maybe like 1,000, 1,500 steps. And I'm
And you're
like, that
drenched.
yes. And I'm like, that was not that it's not equivalent. Like I could have gone on a little walk and got 1,500 steps and
Oh
not raised
yeah.
my heart rate at all. I'm like, it should count for
Uh-huh.
more. But that's where,
These
you
things
look
need
up
to be weighted.
cardio
Like,
load and stuff gives you a better picture of the
well,
overall. Yeah.
I mean, that's interesting. One of my friends, she used to have a an Apple Watch, and then for Christmas, her husband gave her a Garmin watch, and she said I actually like it a whole lot better. It lasts better. It does all these things better than the Apple Watch. The only thing is like I can't connect it for like the Ring doorbell situation. And I was like, if that's the only thing, that's
Mhm.
that's a pretty high praise for a Garmin watch.
Yeah, I've never tried a Garmin. I've been a Fitbit loyalist from very early on. I think probably because they've been pretty affordable for me. But
Yeah.
it would be, I've thought about, checking out a Garmin at some point, but I don't have the excuse to at the moment because my Fitbit's still working just fine. And I have the Ring also. So
And the Ring. And the Ring.
I do find that the Ring is not an activity tracker primarily. Like it'll give you steps
Yeah.
and it'll try to be like, "Oh, it seems like you did some activity. Do you want to add it to your timeline?" And
Hmm.
obviously you can't check your heart rate while you're working out or,
Yeah.
time things or whatever. It's just not meant for that. The Fitbit and the Apple Watch and things are a pretty different kind of product, even though there is some overlap, which is why I haven't been able to just go to one. I get for the Ring gives me such good information about
Yeah.
sleep and stress and like HRV, resting heart rate. Like it gives so much information about that. And that's just completely, I mean, obviously activity affects it, but it's just a completely different kind of tracking.
Information.
Yeah.
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 And we can go into like the details and all of the information and stuff about the rings at some point this
Yeah.
year. This year we're
Yeah.
kind
Because
of,
you're still just getting started on yours. So I'm sure you're going to do some
yep,
kind of a video after you get,
definitely. Hmm.
figure all the things out. I did do a review video a few months ago. I think it was over the summer.
Hmm.
And so you can check that out if you're curious more about the Ultrahuman. And I am going to be talking about my ring a little bit more in an upcoming video where I go into the details about red light therapy because I saw some really amazing data on my ring that I got from my ring in response to the red light therapy, which was really cool to see like the hard numbers. So that'll be,
Yeah.
hopefully in the next few weeks. Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yes, a low carb spin is here. Hello. Sorry. Kelly says, I really admire that you were on the swim team all those years. That was the hardest part of doing triathlons for me. So much technique involved. Wow, triathlons. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a
For me,
hard pass on that.
swimming would probably be the easiest of the three.
Swimming and cycling.
Yeah.
I could do those two.
Yeah.
Running, thumbs down.
I'm working on it. I'm definitely getting better at running, which is something I never thought I'd say. So it is possible. Although it is so obvious that my body is not designed to be a fast runner. Like I am so
Mm.
slow. And I mean, it has to do with my leg length and different things, but it's like Jeff, we were on a jog together and he was like looking at me and he's like, I'm trying to figure out why you're so much slower than I am. And I was like, okay,
That
thanks.
checks out. That
If you
checks
figure it
out
out,
with
let me
Jeff's.
know.
That is 100% Jeff's personality. I can hear
Well,
him saying it.
and I told him, I said, okay, so I had a realization because Jeff, and he won't mind me saying this, he is a very bad swimmer. It's like the only sport that he is not naturally gifted in. Um, and like, I mean, like really bad swimmer.
Yeah.
And, and so I'm like swimming and I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like this, like, it's just so intuitive and so easy. And
Yeah.
how
100%.
my body just knows how to work with the water to like get a good outcome. And I realized I was like, oh, I'm like Jeff about running, like he is about swimming. And it's like my body
Facts.
just doesn't know how to work with the ground in order to get any kind of speed.
I mean, I'm not a fast swimmer at all. Even whenever I was on swim teams, I was not the fastest. I wasn't the slowest, but I was definitely not
Mhm.
in the fastest category. Um, but it was one of those things where I was like, I can do the rhythm, I can perform all of the strokes the proper way,
Yeah,
and I can do it with some level of vigor to be able to, um, get after it. And I just really like water. It's so
Yeah.
much more fun.
It's funny.
I did tell, oh, you know what? Forms of fitness that I have also done in the past, like dancing.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
my
That's
my my friend Megan in the chat, we used to take swing dancing lessons. We used to do all kinds of stuff like that. Because in choir, we were in show choirs, and like you have to have a level of stamina and a
fun.
level of cardio fitness to be able to perform in different productions, whether it's just like a concert or if it's a full on like theater production, whatever the case may be. You got to be able to sing and dance at the same time and not lose your breath. So, I
Mhm.
mean, if it's a coordinated dance, then I'm there for it. I can
Yeah.
do those things. I do
Yeah.
have coordinations in some areas.
Yeah. With like dancing workouts, I talked about step aerobics last week.
Yeah,
I've
you
started
did.
step aerobics. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. I don't have that monotonous feeling about that because your brain is working and you're like doing a choreography, so you feel like you're
Sure.
accomplishing something.
Hmm.
So I have a rowing machine and a bike
Yep.
and my step and my rebounder. And I find I do the step and the rebounder way more, like I want to do them more than the rowing machine and the bike. And, I can get a great workout on any of them, but I
Yeah.
enjoy the step and the rebounder because there's more like coordination. It's just, I don't know. It's just more
Whenever you engage the brain, it's all of a sudden a totally new, it's like, oh, this is a challenge. Oh, I can do
yes.
that. Oh, I
Yes.
think I can do that. It's like why Zumba got to be so explosive
Yeah,
for however
jazzercise.
long. Jazzercise was
Yeah.
huge. Yeah, like all of those that require your brain to fully engage because you're like, oh, I've got two left feet. Oh, wait, I do not because my
Yeah.
brain can focus on that whenever I've got someone giving me explicit instructions.
Yeah, and
So
then when
it's
you get it, like, when you get to that, like, full routine or whatever, and you could do it without,
oh
like, messing
yeah.
up, it's like
Oh
it's so
yeah.
magical.
And then if you
It's
can do it in
literally
tap
feels like you
shoes,
accomplished something. Yeah, yeah.
oh, so good. So good. Bring back all of the things. Even
Yeah,
whenever, okay, when Jared and I were engaged, I told him it would be awesome if we could learn how to ballroom dance so we could dance at our first song. And
yeah,
he was like, ah. And so
yeah. That
then
would
for
never do that.
Valentine's Day, I know, right? For Valentine's Day, well, Jeff also has zero cares about what he looks like or how he's perceived. He does not, no two shakes of the lamb's tail on that one.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Oh, trust me,
he,
I know.
yeah. So Jared was like, okay, for Valentine's Day, maybe. I think it was that. He found some ballroom dancing package for like 2 or 3 lessons or something, some little package. He was like, let's go down to this place and let's do this. And I was like, awesome. And I need help being told, like, Lindsay, you're not the leader. Stop it.
Dear.
And
Oh,
and he needed to know what steps to do in order to lead. So it was one of those things where it was helpful for both of us,
uh-huh.
but
Probably good
ballroom
for your
dancing is a blast.
bed. Oh,
And then, so he really liked it, like not really liked it, but we both liked it well enough together to be able to like, dance together at our wedding. But what
aw.
happened because of our involvement in that, Jared's parents went and started doing ballroom dance classes, like a group class. And then that became their together form of exercise. And I was like, "Ah, this is kind of cool. Like we could just sweep the nation with this thing
Yeah.
because it's like it's mentally challenging while also requiring coordination and some level of engagement. So
Mhm,
I feel
mhm.
like it's all, you know, exercise is one of those things where if you figure out what works for you, some people the running thing works beautifully. Like they
Yes.
need the ability to get in a zone where they can stop the chatter and
Mhm,
just focus on the next step in front of
mhm,
them. That's amazing. Not me. It's not for me.
mhm. Right, right, yeah. Yes, definitely finding what you enjoy is so important. And then also, I think finding something and it doesn't always have to be this way, but finding something with other people, like a community type thing, like you doing the dancing with your husband or the class that your in-laws were doing,
Mhm.
like sometimes that can just be exactly what you need in order to
Yeah.
put in the level of commitment that like if so, and this is where I was, where it's like when I was just on my own, I
Thumbs
didn't,
up.
yeah, I didn't put in that level of commitment for whatever reason. I needed that external group
Mm.
that put me over the edge to become committed. And then once I did that, now, my body enjoys it in a different way. So I am motivated to work out on my own, whereas I wasn't before. So yeah, just finding what you need, finding the people. And sometimes it's like there's a class that I've been going to with Renee in the week because it's at the same time as youth group for the older kids, and so we go and have our little class and then we can go back and pick them up. Um and it's not the kind of workout that I would just choose. I've looked at their app and like, oh, I could do it at home. I don't like it at home. Like, I'm not gonna do it at home. But the fact that the class is there and, there's other people there, we're all doing it together. I can take Renee and we have our little special time together. Like, it makes it worth it for me. It doesn't have to be my exact perfect exercise that I love
Yeah.
in order for me
Mhm.
to really get benefit. That I'm not gonna come home and do it by myself. I'll do my step
Yeah.
aerobics instead. But, it's like just finding what's available, what works with the people you're around and your community and what you enjoy. Like all the different factors.
Yeah. So I have to ask this follow-up question to your step aerobics enjoyment. Is it because you have such an amazing instructor at home willing to mansplain it to you? Is that
Oh. Okay. All right.
Neely has her own personal instructor
I
for
do.
all of the step aerobics that she
I
could
do.
ever possibly
I do.
need. It includes some elements of parkour. Um,
That's the
it's
best way to
a
do step aerobics is
It's
parkour.
a very unique program and very highly sought after, but very exclusive.
Very exclusive.
Very
Yes.
exclusive.
Okay, so I sent Lindsay a Marco Polo the other night, of Levi, my 6-year-old, mansplaining exercise to me. I had just finished my workout and he came up and he likes to come and work out with me sometimes, which is fun. And I had my step down on the floor and he's like, "Hey mom, here's an exercise that might help you." And he starts like speed stepping on the step. He's going, and I was like, "Oh, is that going to help me?" And he's like, "Yeah, it'll help your feet." It's like, "Okay,
I
thanks."
like I like that he has a targeted focus area that he wants you to work on.
Yes.
That way you can
Yes.
really hone that particular area of your body. I mean,
Yeah. I
I
mean,
don't
he
know what
probably
more you could
noticed
ask
that
for.
my feet were really struggling, and
Uh-huh.
he's just trying to help, like men like
Yeah.
to do when they see a problem. They want to have a solution. It's like, here's an
Yeah.
exercise that might help you.
Could you
Yeah.
imagine him on some kind of like an infomercial for some, like a Tony, what is his name? From
Tony.
P90X.
Oh, Tony. Wait, I don't remember his name.
It
Somebody can
doesn't
remember
matter.
in the
The guy
chat.
from P90X, like it's
Yes.
an infomercial. I can see Levi becoming that, you
Oh, for
know,
sure.
at
Yeah.
some point.
Just
Like, if you're
just do what I
struggling with
do.
blah, 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 let me show you, let me give you this. This is your freemium, your buy-in. Come on in. Three
Mm.
easy payments of 29.97.
Oh, goodness. Okay, I
That
wanted
little
to
kid is amazing.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, my Fitbit's telling me I need to stand up and walk for this hour.
Stand up.
Yes.
I've
Okay,
been
Linda
standing.
says, "I really enjoy working out. I quit my job and now I work out 2 to 3 hours a day, just what my soul needed." That's amazing.
I mean,
We
the
miss
sadness is that, yeah, we
hearing
miss
from
you at the
you as
keto
often,
chow.
but I'm glad that you're, getting what you need.
That's right.
For
We can be
sure.
we can be sappy. That's sad and happy together.
We are often sappy. Oh, goodness. Okay, Reese's gotta go. Sing It is here. She's gonna find out what we have in our cups on the replay.
Mm.
Um,
I think the appropriate answer would have been what we had in our cups. As I look at my less than full cup.
okay, here's a question for you.
Okay.
Um, how often do you feel that electric tingly feeling in your head after a workout? I think he said,
I
I think they said it was like a runner's high type thing.
ah I don't ever feel that, to be honest.
Hmm.
I
Seems to be
mean,
connected to balance and higher brain waves, which is kind of a big deal. Hmm.
sure. I don't know that I've
Hmm.
ever had a feeling where I noticed anything like that. Um, I know that I don't struggle to sleep. I don't struggle to fall asleep. I
Yeah.
struggle whenever I have children wake me up in the middle of the night. That's a wee bit of a struggle, but
Yeah.
I don't ever struggle to fall asleep. Um, I do struggle to stay in bed until like an appropriate hour in the mornings. I
Yeah.
tend to just bound out of bed.
You have a lot of energy.
So I do. And you know what's interesting is like I find that there's some rhetoric surrounding exercise, like, oh, I went and worked out and now I'm just exhausted. I don't think I've ever experienced that. So sometimes I can get in my head like, did I do it wrong? Am I doing this right? I don't know. I'm not so exhausted. I feel a lot more, I mean, I do feel more energized after the fact. Like I've accomplished something significant already. I can go tackle the world. And I mean, I can remember that even throughout like high school going through productions, middle school going through productions, just all those things like after the fact, like I'm not taking a nap. I'm not going home and being all done. I feel like my adrenaline is pumping. I'm good to go. I can definitely be here for another 6 hours without an issue.
Oh,
Um, and I'm also not much of a napper either. I just tend to not have a tired, or like I mean, I get tired. That's true, but I don't feel like I have to like stop doing things if I'm tired.
yeah. It's
Like
not a
it's not,
sleepy tired.
no, huh?
'Cause I feel like I have a different like there are times where I get sleepy tired and I'm like, "Oh, I need to take a nap." It's not very often these days. But then there's
Yeah.
also just like I'm just tired and I wanna zone out or something, which is not necessarily a sleepy tired.
Mm-hmm. More of like an worn out.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and usually if I find something kind of mindless to do for a little bit, then that's fine. But I don't know. I don't know. When we get home from snowboarding, immediately like I'm not to the point where I'm like, oh, I need to go sit down. I
Mm.
wind up just, oh, look, there's things to do. Let's do the things. I mean, the caveat being that it takes us an hour plus to get to the slopes. So I
Mhm.
do literally get a full hour plus break from the time we leave till the time we get at home. And then it's just like feet, floor, running, doing things, making dinner, doing all the stuff. So I don't know. That's a weird kind of thing to think about. I don't know.
Mhm.
Also, did I say I don't know? Because I don't know.
Yeah. We don't know that I mean, if you're here because you think we know, sorry, we don't know. Leg length is a thing. When Teresa and I track our walks, I always have twice as many step count, as she does. That's crazy. That's
That
crazy.
feels right. I'm pretty sure that
Yeah.
Jared has a higher step count than me, and whenever we take our walks, his watch will always tell him he's done a further distance earlier than
So
me, even though I have to take more steps to meet his pace. It's
yeah,
interesting.
I think on Fitbit, there's a way to, measure your stride and put it in the
Oh,
information, and that maybe that would help as far as
probably.
distance. But
Yeah.
then, I mean, steps are always so different depending on what you're doing and how you're walking
Oh,
and,
yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah.
I don't know how accurate that is.
Lack of consistent step length is my speciality.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't
Oh, look,
put,
I took a whole step, but it was 3 inches. Oh, look, that one was 9.
yeah, exactly. It's not a perfect science. I just
Sure.
like it that it gives me something, and it should be somewhat accurate, within itself. And so
Mm,
because I'm looking at the same data from the same source every day, I can kind of say, oh, I was a lot more active this day. I was a lot less active this day. And so it's not like I, I'm not worried about it saying the exact mile amount. And I need to know that I actually went that exact mile amount. It's like,
yeah,
just give me a bar. Like, oh, you've been sitting on your butt all day long. Or
valid.
yes, you've been really active. Go ahead and sit on your butt for a while.
I'd be like, I've been really active. I'm going to show you really active.
Yeah,
Don't you
right.
tell me to sit down.
Yeah. That checks out. Um, let's see. All right, talking about that tingly feeling seems to be linked to metabolism. Yeah, the hard thing is with, just a feeling. It's so subjective, and someone could feel it
Yes.
a different way or describe it a different way. So, you know, be connected with your own body. If you find that feeling, leads to whatever outcome, like that's a great like piece of information to have for as you're creating your routines and stuff like that. That's very cool. Yes, that Levi. Oh my gosh. I could not believe how that mansplaining.
Starts young.
Here's an exercise that might help you, mom.
I see that you're having some struggles. Allow me
Yes.
to solve your problems that you didn't
Yeah.
ask for help on.
Because my struggles are all taken care of. I need to now move on to your struggles.
How could I possibly have struggles? I am a man. I only
uh,
understand struggles because I observe you having them.
yes. Yes. Oh, the other day I said this to Lindsay too, I think. The other day I came downstairs and I was like, why are the folding chairs all like laid out on the floor and like pillows everywhere? And I was like, Levi, why is this basement such a mess? And he's like, oh, I was just making a parkour. And I was like, that checks out. Okay.
Solid. I like
Yeah.
it. I
Everything makes
like it a
sense.
lot.
Now go clean it up. If you're done with your
Clean it up.
parkour, you need to clean it up.
If you're And then also, whenever you're done cleaning it up, come tell me how to operate this machine.
Yes, yes. Then you can come help me with my workout.
Hmm.
Personal train
Hmm.
me. Oh, all right. Well, we are coming up on an hour here, so we're gonna go ahead and sign off.
I
Is there
told you that
anything?
I don't get tired, and then here I go yawning.
There you
My
go.
brain
Put it
is
put it in your
screaming
head.
for oxygen.
You should probably stand up also. Up higher, higher.
I'm short, okay? Does that tell you what
Oh,
you need to know? Watch.
yeah. Shake it around a little bit. Okay. So we are going to go ahead and hop off here. I hope you guys all have a great day, and we will be back
And good
next.
happy Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah, happy Valentine's Day. And we will be back next week with more thoughts about fitness and exercise. And if you have any questions about that, definitely leave them in the comments of this video, not the live chat, because we won't go back and see that, but in the actual comments of the video after it's over.
Yep.
And we can work on that for next week.
Sounds like a
All right.
plan.